just get me another.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Mack, you look you've been screaming. What's happening?
I just gave myself a nasal rinse because I've got a fuckery of cold coming on. So,
An anal rinse.
aye, anal rinse. I thought I've got a stuffed up nose. I'll shove something up my hoop. That's a great idea.
Fair play. With you, nothing surprises me. Nothing surprises me. Tonight we are putting together. Are we remembering the career of Carl Weathers episode? This is an episode for us all to bask in the absolute geniusness. The what's a how would you eloquate a warrior?
Geniosity.
No, for a warrior. The absolute warrior of Carl Weathers and all the classic characters he portrayed on the screen. It's unfortunate. Just the other day, on the 2nd of February, Mr. Carl Weathers left this earth, and leaving behind is a legacy of great action films and a guy that was just an absolute warrior and a true gentleman also. Would you agree?
Yeah, we crossed paths with him.
Correct.
Kind of.
So happy. Well, I got the handshake on that when he went for a piss. Lee says, "Evening, gents." Evening, Lee.
Evening, Lee. Hopefully it was before he went for a piss and he wasn't just wiping his pee on you.
Well, put it this way. See if he come to me after going for a piss. It'd have been another ding, ding. I got fucking
all right. Ding, ding.
Exactly. So, for a wee bit of context, J Mac and I met Carl Weathers at For the Love of Sci-Fi in 2018. That was, I mean, we had a very first, mate, we had a very explosive first year as a podcast, right? A very explosive year when you think about it. Hello, Heather. Hello, Chief. Living the dream. I hope you've all got your wee toast ready.
No, mate, I didn't get any toast. I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
Same. What's in that one? Is that tea?
That's tea.
That's very light tea, man. Did you put a tea bag in it?
Aye, but I thought I'm going to have a light tea tonight, right? Just because I don't want to stay awake all night.
Wait, hold that up again. It looks less like tea and more like oat milk.
No, that Ovaltine crap. It tastes.
I love Ovaltine.
Matthew Mint in the house. Evening, guys. Matthew Mint done a really cool picture of the man himself. And folk have been asking me what's the story with his massive head. Would your head not look like that if fucking Ivan Drago punched the hell out of it? So for me, I mean Carl Weathers, and I had the pleasure of telling them this to his face. Remember this, J Mac, when he was asked For the Love of Sci-Fi, he was asked, who won that fight right then, the one that the painting that you see here that is our background. And Carl was like, I don't know. He's like, I think it's up to you. And I was like, motherfucker, let me just. I stood up and I was like, no, Carl, man.
You didn't even have the mic. You just stood up. You were like, no.
Oh, shit! Hold my earring. And he looked right at me and everybody just kind of stopped and looked. And I'm like, motherfucker, you just watched Creed. I says, and it's true. Apollo Creed, actually.
It was the guy that asked the question. I'm pretty sure that guy asked about 50 questions. I didn't like. It was just like, what would it like to work with Stallone?
And at that point, everybody's just like, oh fuck me, man. Who's gave him the mic?
Who won fight at the end of film?
Yeah, and it was Apollo Creed. So when you look at the history in the Rocky films, the greatest was Apollo Creed. It actually was Apollo Creed and not Rocky.
Well, certainly for a time. I think Rocky, obviously after that fight, Rocky got better. He didn't decline. He improved. So
well, it depends. He went a bit like a stock market. Look at the Rocky 3. I want Balboa!
Call him Stocky. Well, like the stock market. Oh, that was terrible. I'm sorry.
Bring your own popcorn, which is Jack Logan says.
Jack Logan, yeah.
Guys, drop us a follow if you can. He says, hello from me and Dad. How's you doing? Was sad to hear of Carl Weathers passing. Absolutely. See, when I saw it, I was like, when we met him, it felt like he didn't look at him and go, there's something that's about to die. He was a fucking specimen still, wasn't he?
It was a bit different, like comparing him to like Bolo Young, for example,
right.
Like night and day. I definitely didn't have Carl Weathers on my celebrity Deadpool for this year. So it was a bit of a kick in the big shiny white ding ding teeth. That maybe came off sounding a bit wrong, but you know what I mean. Ding ding teeth.
Well, he did say ding ding. So I think every 90s kid, I think it's lost now on this generation, but every 90s kid grew up idolizing action heroes. It's a thing of the past. Now it's all Marvel Avengers and Venom and all this, right? But when from our era, because you and I were not too far apart. I mean, you're slightly older, but we're not too far apart,
Careful.
must I just say.
Careful.
But we had Van Damme, we had obviously Bolo Young, Bruce Lee, we had the best movies like AWOL, right? Do you know what my wife said to me today? She was, oh, what are you doing on the podcast tonight? I said, Carl Weathers. Oh, that guy you met? I was like, aye. She was all right, cool. She's like, I only really knew that other guy. Did he not kill off his character in Rocky 4? What was his name? Rob Van Dam. And I screamed. I fucking screamed.
Why Rob Van? I know Rob Van Dam's a wrestler, right? But why Apollo Creed? Rob Van Dam?
Let me tell you. She thought Ivan Drago was fucking Van Damme. She thought it was Van Damme, and I was like, no. Because I went, no, don't you mean Jean-Claude Van Damme? She's like, aye, that's it. I goes, aye. But that wasn't who killed him. I says, that was fucking Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, my God. You need to get your message tuned in.
Oh, I did. I had a good wee fucking laugh at it. And because she's she just isn't someone that's seen the Rocky films, right? And I'm saying to her, look, I says, you know that way where it's like, right, I'm going to have to stop what we're doing right now, Lauren. Look at me right now. I'm like, so the first one, right? Rocky's like this wee debt collector, but he could have been, son. He could have been. And I'm like, and then I says, Carl Weathers' character, Apollo Creed, he's like the greatest boxer, and he's bored now because he's beaten all the best guys. So he gives a bum a chance, and Rocky comes this close, and he almost does it. Now we're on to Rocky 2. And I just went through all the Rocky films. And it was quite class how actually listening to me. And after I described them all, she was like, we should watch the Rockies. And I'm like, fucking starting tomorrow night.
I still remember it was a fond wee time I had when my wife was away on holiday with my son and her mum. So I was just left in the house myself, and I decided to take a day off work, holiday. Like I pre-planned it. And I had a Rocky marathon at myself. I cracked open a few cans, and I started, I think, at about 11 in the morning and just watched Rocky all day. It was
living
phenomenal.
the dream, mate. When folks say,
brilliant.
When I grow up, what do I want to be? That's the answer.
Able guy that cracks a can at 11 in the morning and watches Rocky all day.
Stays in his pants all day.
What a goal.
Exactly.
Imagine that being your apprentice interview.
I actually, I'm not a huge boxing fan. So to me, growing up, boxing was Rocky Balboa, which is mad because I think the films have done such a great job of getting people into boxing that people actually, there's a statue in Philadelphia of fucking Sylvester Stallone, and he's not even a boxer,
It's like, there's a statue of Rocky. It's like they idolize somebody that wasn't even real, which is just phenomenal. Have they got nobody else to idolize in Philadelphia? Is the place that crap? And like, oh, guy's made up, but he's all right. He's sound.
Mattyman says, I always remember Homer Simpson thinking Apollo Creed was the first guy on the moon.
Oh man, that's class.
The Simpsons. So I was quite gutted to see that he'd passed away, especially when he'd been such a nice guy as well. When he does the circuit of the conventions, he was always very nice to everybody. He had a lot of time for people. Mm-hmm. Very gutting. I went to what happened when you and I were there is we got a chance to speak to him through the Q&A. You asked him about what it was like playing Chubbs Brown, which was class because no one else had that type of question.
Chubb Peterson.
Chubbs Peterson. Why did I say Chubbs Brown?
I have no idea, mate. I'm not gonna hazard a guess at why you said the word brown.
What was that? What was that you said about the teeth earlier? Ding ding.
Ding ding teeth. Ding ding.
Aye. But Chubbs Peterson. Sorry, why did I say Chubbs Brown? That's definitely a character. No, Chubbs Brown has to be a character for somewhere. I've definitely heard that. Chubbs Brown. Nick Chubb. I know, I guess Nick Chubb. A t-shirt. Chubbs Brown comes from somewhere. Chubbs Peterson. That was quite fun. And then there was a point where I said to you, J Mac, come with me, and you were like, oh, but I'm just going to go and do this. And as you walked away, I'm like walking past the gentleman's and just walking up past me, man. Straight up towards me. I could just see, I'm like, there's Apollo Creed literally walking right towards me right now. And I'm like, hi, Carl! Like, combat Carl's just like, hey, player. So even went to, it was very nice. Shook my hand and was just very much a gentleman. Went and took his piss. Went back to his table, but it was cool.
Did you wait for him to finish his pee?
Nah.
Mate, could you imagine walking out of the toilet and seeing somebody standing there with that face you just pulled out again? Excuse me.
Ross Caldwell says Chubbs Brown, maybe thinking of Roy Chubby Brown.
That could be that.
Him, but Chubbs Brown definitely coming from somewhere, but that's a good shout. I think when it comes to like Rocky, we've met Carl Weathers and we met Burt Young, and he's also dead now, isn't he? We shame.
Yeah.
Talia Shire's still going, right?
I think so.
I don't believe her to be thy deed.
So well worded.
I'm just checking. She's no deed. She's still going. Still going.
She does seem to have slowly turned into Steve Tyler, though. But
I know.
Hang on.
It's all just white.
Living on the edge.
Dream on. I think he was such a big part of me. We have no notes for tonight, by the way. Do you know? No. I did put out something earlier on our Facebook page. If you don't follow us on Facebook, what the hell are you waiting for? Get over to Jibber Jabber Podcast on Facebook, and you'll see that we ask a ton of questions there for folk. But let's have a wee look now. I'm going to go on and read the comments from some of our I'd say listeners, but you listen, you watch, all that fun stuff. I asked the question, what were your favourite moments? What were your favourite films that included Mr. Carl Weathers? And I think we already know a lot of the answers to that without even saying it. And I used this wee image here of Matthew Minn's Carl Weathers, which is class, by the way.
Reminds me of something, and I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like
is it Chubbs Brown?
No, I mean it obviously looks like a wee bobblehead thing, but it reminds me of something else. A cartoon. I honestly can't remember. I don't know why I brought it up. A waste of time. A waste of breath and a waste of airtime. I apologise to anybody listening. I can't even speak.
So Matthew Minn himself says, as much as I love Predator and Rocky, nothing beats seeing him somersault over a car in Action Jackson. Guy didn't even need any wires.
Do you know, it's a film I've never actually seen. I've never seen Action Jackson. Probably because of the title. It sounds pish. You know what I mean? It does. It
sounds like Combat Carl, the movie.
That could be better.
Mate, Combat Carl, if you ever watched any of the wee Toy Story mini episodes they done between Toy Story 3 and 4, Combat Carl was basically a wee action man that was voiced by Carl Weathers. And the minute I heard it, I was like, yes. Beans Goldblum says Predator, but I do have a soft spot for him and Happy Gilmore. Most definitely. And Little Nicky, by the way, he's there.
He shows up as Chubbs.
He's like, hey. Happy Gilmore, it's all in the hips. Correct. It's where the alligator takes his horn. Damien says, add some you got a stew going. Add some broth, you got a stew going. What's that from? It's a GIF that he used. So add some broth, you got a stew going. What's this?
I have absolutely no idea. It's
Anyone
probably
in the
TV
comments
shows that he's been in.
Anyone in the comments, go and check it out. Ross Caldwell says the arm wrestle with Schwarzenegger and Predator. What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils.
Pencils.
Dillon, you son of a bitch.
Oh, speaking of crap impressions, Stu Arnold thinks he can do Carl Weathers as well.
Squaring up against Ivan Drago and Rocky 4. It's time to go to school, son. Didn't work out too well. And
what do you interpret? It's time to go to school. You will lose.
White Lace and Promises. We all had so many fond memories of Mr. Weathers. Here we go.
Don't feel bad about me. I got my hand back, see? Because he takes his hands off the piano and he keeps playing.
Bring your own popcorn. We can try and trump your Carl Weathers in the toilet. We passed Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca, and Comic-Con cutting about on his mobility scooter. 2 times too small for him.
Oh, man. That sounds hilarious.
Also, Mr. Logan, I'll have you know that I didn't need the Chewbacca in brackets. I hear, just like yourself, I know J Mac is not, but I am also a Star Wars fanatic, my friend. So I got you at Peter Mayhew. That would have been mental.
Funny would it be if his wee scooter went.
No, that sounds class. I never met Carl Weathers in the toilet. I met him on his way to the toilet. It would have been even funnier if it was in the toilet. I would have had to have come up with something cool to say. And Matthewman says, blasphemy, go watch it.
I will watch
go
it.
Go now!
I will. Because I've looked at the trailer and it looks like a silly action film for the 80s, but it doesn't look like it's not going to be fun. So I will watch it. I wonder, is it on Prime or anything now?
Action Jackson. Let me look it up. All you fans. Action Jackson. All you fans, eh? It's on. I think it's on Prime Video. It looks to be. Yep. Or you can rent it for $3.49 on Amazon, or you could probably just buy it for somewhere. But it looks fun.
It is. Oh no way.
The GIF is from Arrested Development, something I never really watched, so that makes sense.
There is another film called Action Jackson as well.
I bet it is.
And it's a Bollywood action movie. I might watch that one as well.
See if Carl Weathers is in it. I'm over it. By the way, and this wasn't probably something that you would watch, J Mac, but Carl Weathers did show up in Mandalorian and was a good character.
Yeah, I knew he was in that. Oh, sorry, my nose. I knew he was in that. Obviously, as a non-Star Wars guy, I haven't seen The Mandalorian. I will say that I did watch the first episode, and I thought it looked incredible, like the aesthetics of it. But because I didn't really care that much, I never finished. I never kept going.
That's like anything in life.
I've just sent you the Action Jackson Bollywood version movie poster for you to have a wee squiz at. Oh, but also.
Big up Carl Weathers.
What a disrespectful fuck.
That does look quite class. That's mad. So, I mean, if you look at everything that this fella's been in, I mean, I imagine a lot of us will have some certain films that were like not Rocky and not Predator that we actually loved with a big man in it himself. For me, I mean, no, it's pretty much.
It's funny that, isn't it? Because like I think it kind of goes to show you how much an impression he makes, though, because he is very memorable in all the films that we know him from.
Of course,
but without trying to trample in the man's grave, he probably did some crap as well. But most people do at some point. They'll do something that doesn't quite.
He done some good voice work.
Yeah.
Janice is in the house. She says, "Hey guys, sorry I'm a few minutes late. Daughter and I are sewing." Oh, aye, sewing what? Your royal oats? I'm joking.
Wild Oats.
No, I was quoting. Coming to America. Come on, J Mac. Fuck's sake, man. Wake up. Bring on popcorn. Your next day off work, J Mac, come over to our home cinema. couple of cans, we can sit in our pants and watch a Star Wars movies. Hey, do it! Do it now!
I was 100% with you up until you said Star Wars.
My sister and her husband got me this, which sits proudly next to an original trilogy. I've got tons. I don't need to bring all my Star Wars stuff out, but I have tons of Star Wars stuff. And if I ever get rid of this, I will donate it to the Jack Logan Home Cinema place.
What is it? It's just a tin.
It's a Burton's biscuit tin for back in the day. Look.
Ah, right, that's cool.
Proper.
That looks
Star
too
Wars.
new. That looks new.
No, does it? Aye. It's no new. J Mac, it's no new, right?
Wait, when's it for?
It is 1997. Yes.
Oh, cool. That's in some condition, by the way.
I know. It's fairly good condition, but I don't put biscuits in it. I just leave it up here because it's cool. I put it right there so everybody can watch this episode and be like, oh, what's all the Star Wars stuff he's got in his back? And then ask me about it in the show. And I'm like, this is what
Empire Biscuit Strikes Back.
A new hobnob. Anybody? Matthew Man says, when he was kind of the baddie like Predator and Rocky, you still couldn't help but like the guy. True. Do you know, I don't even feel like he was a baddie in Rocky. I felt that he was a champion. He was essentially what the guys like Conor McGregor aspired to be.
He was certainly the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the negative force driving the story of the positive side forward. But then obviously his character dynamic changes when we get to Rocky 3, which is my least favorite Rocky film, by the way.
I don't know why. It was like, by the way, can I just say this? And we've covered this before on our Rocky 4 episode, which anybody that's never checked that out before we were a live podcast, we moved to video. And for a short time between us being audio and then straight to live, there were a few episodes where we had done it like this, but not live. One of them were Rocky 4. And we done quite a good episode of Rocky 4, and we talked about it. And I had said on that me, growing up, I never started with Rocky 1 or 2. It was Rocky 3 that I watched first. So to me, that was Rocky. And then I went back. Because at the start of Rocky 3, it shows you... And I was always like, I need to watch that. Like, what's that all about? You know what I mean? For me, Rocky 3 was my first introduction to Rocky, so I loved it. The fact you had what a bad guy, Clubber Lang. Hello, Bilbo. Mate, all right, mate. It's all right.
I never seen the first two Rocky films where Apollo Creed's obviously the main antagonist. I never seen them till I was probably in my 20s, early 20s. Took me a long time. Oh yes, I'm with you, Jack. I'm with you. Thanks, Mick.
You said, Mick. I saw you.
Mick.
It's no Mick. It's everybody in the comments. There's a lot of yous in tonight. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us what are your favorite scenes with Carl Weathers, but also what are your favorite films, and also share this episode. Tell your pals, get them in here. Right, this is us giving a send off to one of our action heroes, and that's how you know you've made it in life when Jibber Jabber does a remembering episode on you.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Yeah. Who else did we do a remembering episode for? Apart from Still Game, the series.
that was a shit show for me, that one. And spend my state going, Nick, Jack, Victor.
And they're not even really deep. Did I tell you I seen her not too long ago in a cinema? I was in where's that place next to SECC? Quay or something like that? Key?
Yes. The Quay. Oh, we didn't the Quay.
Do you know there's like a wee place where there's like a Nando's and all that? Well, there's a wee Odeon in there, and I went in there because it was absolutely hammering the rain. Went in to grab a Costa and all that, and there was Jane McCarry standing there just like acting all Isa as fuck.
Was she acting all Isa?
No, she was actually, to the point I was like, that's Isa. My wife's like, no, it's no. I'm like, fucking is. My brother's just like, are you Isa? And she's like, aye.
My mate's dad goes out with her best pal.
Right, so it was your mate's... No. Right, okay. Because she was with a dude who was all era, grabbing her arse and all that. I was like, yeah. You fondling eyes.
She's like pushing the hands off, going, any road.
Any road. The bookie's brother will no lose his eye. Class. Ginny says, the first Rocky came out when I was 6. Way to make me feel old there, Ginny, man.
Young,
Matthew
you mean?
Says, Dillon's death in Predator is probably my favourite part of the movie. You sick son of a bitch.
Scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. Like you just see the arm hit the ground, then the nerves in the finger keep going. And what's funny though is like in certain prints of the film, when he turns round and you see that his arm's blown off, you can see his real arm just tucked behind it, which is quite funny. But I think if you watch it on Disney Plus, they've cropped it so you can't see it anymore.
Here's another wee FYI, and I want everybody at home to also answer this question: How many actors, action heroes, have worked with both Sly and Schwarzenegger? So we've got Carl Weathers.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Everybody in the Expendables.
Oh no, pre-Expendables. And while we have a think about that, I'm going to tell you a little story about the Expendables. When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time in the cinema. Shock, right? To the point I got to know the projects in the cinema. I got to know people behind it. And there was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's very local, and I'd like to remember who he is so I could track him down one day and maybe get him on this show, because it was basically like you. I would go in and just chat to him about movie stuff. Sometimes I'd even just go in on my break when I worked in the centre. I'd go in on my break just to eat and chat to him about film stuff. And I remember him going like this: by the way, have you heard about this new thing coming out? It's called The Expendables. I'm like, what's that? He's like, imagine all your favourite action heroes for when you were growing up, all in one film. And I'm like, aye, okay. Like, we know there's rules here. There's an etiquette, and it's if you're Stallone, you're Sly, you just don't cross paths, right? So to me, the very thought of that being a thing, they would get all the action heroes together and put them into one film, like that to me was like, aye, right. And here we are now going, the Expendables are pish.
The Expendables was good fun, the first one. The second one, not so much. The third one was alright. The fourth one I haven't even bothered with.
By the way, and I need to ask this question to everybody watching, and it's one of those times where you're all going to spoil a film for me here live on the podcast because I refuse to watch it. In the new Creed, does Rocky die?
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't watched Creed 3.
I actually don't know. And do you know what? No one spoke about the film because nobody went to see it, to the point where I'm like, you can't even spoil it for me because no one's seen it. But the idea that they're killing off Rocky because they actually ousted Stallone from this series, I mean, what a sure way to turn all the audience off of a film franchise is to oust the guy that basically you've got to thank for it. You know?
Yeah. You say nobody's seen it.
Trick.
See, nobody's seen it. It made 275.3 million.
How much did it cost?
Creed 3 budget was 75, so it was a roaring success.
Well,
but no.
Well, here we go. Wee Logan says, no, he doesn't die. Creed 3 is the best Creed film, by the way. Well. See, because it's you, I'm going to watch that. Because you know what I mean. If you talk to somebody like if you speak to somebody like Mick, no, I'm joking. If you speak to your average person and they're like, oh, I like Avengers and that, straight up when they tell you to go and watch a film, you're going to be like, all right. Wee Logan holds water, and it's like Todd. These people, like, if you say to me, oh, this movie's great, which, by the way, I went and watched I Love You, Philip Morris, right? I went and watched it after Todd said it. Let me tell you something about it, right? The funniest bit, the part I actually pissed myself, it wasn't the part where he's like, it's no the part where he's bumming the lass, or you think is a lassie, and then the guy's like, oh, do me harder. It's not that part. What part do you think it is?
I'm not sure.
The part it was for me is when he comes out of jail and he's sitting in the courthouse, right? And he's like, I'm a lawyer. And this wee woman, who is basically Ewan McGregor's pal, is like, okay, I need you to help me. They go into the courtroom and he's like, proper winging it, right? Something I can totally relate to, right? So I feel myself there. And he's like, yeah, Your Honor, blah, blah, blah. And then there comes a point where they're like, okay, so what now? And he sits down and he just goes, And he looks at the lassie, right? And she looks at him like, how is fucking howling? Because without any word said, it's like he's looking at her going, now what? Because he doesn't know where to look, right? She's looking at him going, you're the fucking lawyer. And the fact that he's just looking at her like, I was fucking ending myself. I could not breathe. Do you know why? I relate with that so fucking much. I relate with that so much.
Like,
you know?
Jordan, you want to introduce the next guy?
You're like,
Right, next up on the stage,
you. Oh man. Mick says the last one was pish. And then he goes on to say, haven't seen any of the Creeds, Apollo, Assassins, or the band. I get you. Assassin's Creed, Apollo Creed. Well, you should watch Creed 2 was alright because they brought back the Draga. Like even Draga. It's funny they always said that they said that in Rocky IV, eh? One of a kind.
Yeah, keep mind Carl Weathers isn't by the way.
I know. but the second, well, there's pictures of him in it, so you stand corrected.
Oh, that counts.
Neither Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam.
So there's a Matthew Mann piece of art waiting to happen. Rob Van Dam versus Apollo Creed. Oh no, that's something else. You know,
so let's Happy Gilmore. How much does he add to that film? Even when he first shows up, you're like, fucking hell, it's Apollo Creed. That's the first thing that goes through everybody's mind when they see that.
Always.
Also, can we have a wee moment of remembrance for his moustache alone? Because his moustache is phenomenal. It's one of the... Yeah.
Not only to the memory of such an acting legend. Hey, if I find out he's on any list, this episode's getting deleted. But unless it's the list of top 10 greatest action heroes.
That's the one. But here's to his...
Or possibly Jericho's list at this point. One of a kind.
Here's to his moustache.
Mm-hmm. And to his, body. Lee says, hey guys, hope you're good. We're doing no badly. Any chance you could contact Carol Weathers for us? Come here live on the show.
Jesus.
Mick says, when's the next live event? Our next live event? Possibly in March. We'll see though. And it's not really our event, but we will be attending it, perhaps. Keep an eye out. We're always working to do something new, to do something fun. Matthew says, was it the same hand he lost in Happy and Predator? There's a crossover Matthew Menard waiting to happen.
It was.
Well.
It was his right hand. It was his right arm, right hand.
He says, lol, too soon. But really, if it comes through, you know how to get in contact. I know. That was in poor taste, maybe. But you made a joke about his teeth. It
was a gum shield joke. It wasn't a tooth joke.
Don't know. I don't know. There's a Dillon skin in Mortal Kombat X, which is 10, and there's a Jax. Jax has a Dillon skin, and he voices Jax when you use that skin. Done it because he has a very when you hear a character with his voice, you know straight up that it's him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a very distinctive voice, so you'd think an impressionist like Stu Arnold would be able to do it accurately, but he can't. Just saying.
When's the fight?
I don't know. He's never going to come on.
It's quite entertaining. He entertains me. The Mando. So he actually directed an episode of Mandalorian.
2 episodes.
Carl, that is. That's right. 2 episodes. So he kind of done a lot of directing as well. I want to find aside from that one that Matthew Mann said, I want to find a lot of the films that were a bit lower budget and absolute mental. I imagine they exist. James, what the fuck is that noise?
What noise? Sorry. Actually, I was watching a few weeks ago. I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Yeah, he's in that.
I totally did not remember that he was in it. He's obviously not in it much. But again, he popped up. I was like, fucking hell, it's Apollo Creed.
That's like when you see
He's
Samuel
definitely made an
Jackson.
impression with Apollo Creed.
Hey, it's like Samuel Jackson's in Jurassic Park, but nobody ever really remembers that.
Hold on to your butts.
There's a film here called The Sasquatch Gang that he's in, and it's got Justin Long in it. I actually think Justin Long's heavy underrated.
I used to hate him, but I love him now.
Why did you hate him?
I don't know. He just annoyed me. I think most of the time that was the point of him. Like the characters he was playing were probably meant to be annoying, but I actually really like him. He's a very good actor.
For a long time, I've said just how good he was. I think
for a Justin Long time.
Just in time. 8 Crazy Nights. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's the animated thing that Adam Sandler put together. He's in that. I think Sandler. Like once you're in with Sandler, you're in with Sandler, right?
Aye, yeah. It does. You can tell when a film's Happy Madison, even if you miss the beginning.
Oh, aye. Straight up. It's got the Fonz in it, acting as somebody's dad.
Ah, man. Click.
Henry Winkler. One of my favourite things ever is this. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Henry Winkler. And he's like, covered in bees. So good. Mick says he was good in Die Hard 4.0. So underrated. Class film. Probably one of my favourites. Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
We've got a friend that's very much Die Hard with a podcast. Very much into it.
Who's that?
Brian. Good guy.
Brian who?
Jeremy, Brian. You know the folks that we had on. Brian Trainer. Connected us with Jeremy. With Bruce Willis's double.
Folks that we had on.
J Mac doesn't even care what year it is. You can Carl Weathers is dead, right?
Aye.
The cold gets the cold affects us.
Oh Jesus! The guy that wrote Die Hard, the one that never got made. Sorry, man. Yeah, this cold is getting to my head.
Aye, most definitely. It's that or it's the whiskey. I don't even feel this has touched the sides, man, and I don't even feel.
I've only had one.
Well, there was at least 3 in there. The glass was pretty big, and so was the portion.
The portion. Excuse me. One portion of whiskey. You get it in a bag. It's like asking for a glass of chips.
Glass of chips.
funny would that be? Excuse me, can I get a glass of chips?
While you're at it, can I get a donor? Can I get a donor picture or not?
Oh, I would have that.
Fuck, no thanks. Lee says they need to connect to me. Correct. The guys wanted to for sure. Aye, so it's a wee shame that he's dead. But to be fair, one thing I will say is I wouldn't say he died young. You know, I say for his age, he most definitely.
Do we know what happened to him yet?
No, and do you know what? I never even thought to check because it doesn't really matter, does it? You know what I mean?
No, I was just curious if he'd been ill for a wee while or if it was like a sudden thing.
Carl Weathers.
And this is how research is done for podcasts, ladies and gentlemen. Just date on the show.
All it says was Weathers died at his home in LA on February the 1st. Oh, we found out on the 2nd then, at the age of 76, which he did not look, because when I saw him, looked like he was still batterfolk. His family issued a statement saying he died peacefully in his sleep, so he must have been a wee bit done in. Like he didn't just, you know what I mean? It couldn't have been sudden, but that's quite gutting. That
sometimes you can, sometimes it can be sudden. You just go for a nap and never wake up. But
nah, I think with the way they said he died peacefully in his sleep, it's like, well, how did you know unless you were watching him? So they must have been watching him. So there must have been a reason for them to watch him. That's how I know. Here's another thing as well. Like, I actually just realised someone I used to work with died, and I was like, oh, that's quite gutting. And then I was like, I find myself in this position. I'm like, well, it's not like we always go on. You know what I mean? She was a lot older than me, but she was still a young woman, a young Nah, she must have been like in her 50s, right? Now. She was a crabbit bastard, right? But it's a shame that she's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. So I actually felt quite sad. I thought, oh. And then I thought back to all the times that she was an absolute bastard to me and thought, still quite shit that she's dead. But it helps me cope. Do you know what I mean?
So how do you cope with death? I just think of all the times they were bastards. It's good therapy. I like it.
No, I think it was like 90% of my time spent with this lady. She was a bastard to me, and I think quite like without any need to be. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of time.
I'd love to see that at a funeral, like just telling the truth about somebody. Rather than I'm like, Davey was a quiet man, but he was a gentle soul. He was well liked by his peers. And he'd do anything for anybody. Whereas just to stand up and go, this isn't any great loss, is it? I mean, he's just here for steak pie. This guy was an arsehole.
By the way, I welcome anybody to do that if my funeral comes around before all of yous. If I was an arsehole, stand up and say it loud and proud. I'll be laughing.
What do you want to do for your funeral? You're not going to have just black and white.
Oh no, mate.
Well, what you want?
Oh, mate, I'm getting lowered into lava with a fucking metal hand turning into a thumb at the end. That's what I'm getting done.
No, I mean, like for everybody, like it's like everybody needs to dress up as something. What would you have?
Furries. Every fucking one is furries. It's purely for the wake. Mick says he was a tatting bastard. That'd be quite funny. So, it's been quite a loss this week.
I'm sure it was Russell Howard? Russell Howard said he would met one of his fans. It was a young kid who was basically on his way out, and he'd asked Russell if he would show up at his funeral dressed as a dick.
Aye.
And he said he would do it. I can't mind the outcome of that. I'll need to look at the story again, but it was pretty funny.
Did you see the one Grado said about how his mum died like 3 years ago, but his dad still uses her Facebook? So it comes up, so he's arguing with folk on Facebook about fucking like trying to buy an old washing machine and shit.
I've not seen this yet.
3 years. I'll find it. I thought you would. Jack says Carl Weathers borrowed my 4-slice toaster off me. Can't even. They've ransacked my house. Can't even have a slice of toast. Ginny says I'm going to dress up in a witch costume. I always said that when it comes to my funeral, I'd like to go in my jammies. Fuck this lying in a coffin wearing your suit. Who goes to bed wearing a suit?
I know. What's the first thing you do when you get in for wearing a day for a day wearing a suit? The first thing you do when you get in is loosen the tie off
and get it to fuck, man.
Aye. I want to get buried in Bruce Lee's Game of Death yellow jumpsuit.
See, if I ever find out that I'm dying and I've got like 4 months to live, I'm planning my own shit and I'm making it as entertaining as possible. You just know it, eh? Do you know? I actually know a girl, and her dad actually died, and he knew he was dying, unfortunately. And I heard that at the funeral, you know, where they're all standing by the graveside as they're waiting as the hearse comes up. The hearse is on its way up and it's stopped, and the next minute they put on Highway to Hell blaring out of the funeral car, and Highway to Hell was playing as he was coming up to his graveside. That's mad, eh? I thought that's character.
Did you ever see the Irish funeral with the guy that put a speaker in his coffin or organised to have? It's like, hello. It's fucking dark in here. Let me out.
Who can forget My Boy Lollipop? It's a Glasgow one. Mind you hate her.
My Boy Lollipop.
The wee Ned thing with a suit on.
Oh, God.
With the Bluetooth. And she never had the Bluetooth. She was just holding the phone going like that. And she's singing all out of time and everything. Oh, she's a fucking madman.
Aye, just a wee steaming, schemy, horrible bint.
Aye. Mick says, you can't be here, Carl. You're dead. Apollo dead.
Good tribute show, this. Any other jokes here?
Apollo dead. Oh, no. That's something that'd land you a good job in the tabloids. And 3 letters or less. Sorry, 3 words or less. Apollo Deed.
So yeah, I've done it in 2. That was even less class.
Yeah. Mick also says, my gran went to my granddad's funeral to make sure the bastard was actually dead. Life. It's a shame we'll never see. To be honest, by the way, when you look at what Carl Weathers actually did, like he wasn't in that many blockbusters, but his lasting impression, when he was in something, you knew,
Aye, and the thing is, like, there's a lot of actors out there who show up in a lot of movies, right? Mm-hmm. But they're never the main guy, or they don't do a lot of good stuff. But the thing about most of these people is you can't actually remember their name. He's just that guy that's in loads of stuff.
You can see his face, but you can't name him.
Aye. Like the ugly, the ugly guy that plays the ghost in the subway in Ghost. Get off my train! Shows up in millions of things. Nobody knows his name. Do you know what I mean? But Carl Weathers, everybody knows who he is, isn't he? He was Carl Weathers. It must be good getting immortalised in film, though.
Well, aye, because not just any film. This is a fucking Rocky franchise. You know what I mean? Like, Apollo Creed was, and Sly came out and said it himself. He was a big part of what was successful about that film.
Oh, Stallone is gutted as well, eh?
I know.
You could tell he was actually like he's properly holding back his emotions when he does the reaction video for that.
Yeah.
Oh, bad. Sorry, this is itchy.
Blaming it on
apologies to anybody. Like when you're watching a podcast and you can see somebody sniff, like you can deal with it, but just listening to this here and be like,
Jack says, just try to imagine the Rocky franchise without Carl Weathers. Actually impossible. Nobody else could have played that part.
Peter Dinklage.
You say that? Well, no, of course. Have we not come this far? Carl Weathers totally made it what it was, for sure. And I would agree with you, but I would like to think who else would have been a good fit for the Apollo Creed character around it. What about OJ?
No. What was his name? Williamson. The fella Williamson. He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. Played the big black guy with a big mad vampire face.
I think I know who you're talking about. Fred.
Yeah.
Fred Williamson.
Hang on a minute.
Nah, fuck off, mate. He looks like your dodgy uncle who you didn't know whether to go around to his house to clean the pool or no. That's what he looks like. James Earl Jones. Fuck me, man. James Earl Jones. Don't know about that.
That'd be a bit weird. There is no tomorrow.
By the way, I think your selection of Fred Williamson is totally off your fucking tree, mate. It looks like
do you know what? They probably would have got a boxer to do it.
Probably. It's hard to believe that these guys were not boxers.
Joe Frazier, or Muhammad Ali wouldn't have done it. Joe Frazier, George Foreman, or something maybe.
You look at Carl Weathers, and he looks like a fucking boxer.
What an athlete! I think he was. Was he a football player?
He was an original one. Mick says Danny Glover. Too likable.
I'm getting too old for this shit. You're only 30, mate. I'm already too old for this shit.
Yeah, we're good, Donna. Nice to see you back in the chat. We are remembering Carl Weathers tonight. Janice says the guy who played in Green Mile.
I think he'd have been about 14 at the time. I think.
And he's huge. He's huge. He's dead now.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a shame. Was he played Joe Coffey, didn't he? Was that his name, Joe Coffey?
John Coffey.
John.
Actually,
Coffey.
Michael Clark Duncan would have been about 19 at the time. So, Could have done it. I don't know if he wouldn't be as big then.
Donna says, I remember him. She's like, job done. Remembering Carl Weathers. I remember him. Job done.
Mate, Michael Clark Duncan would be 68 by now.
That's mad to think that, eh?
He always looked quite young. He was a very youthful looking guy.
Mm-hmm. Spent a lot of time with Bruce Willis as well.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think it was Bruce Willis that told him to go for the part of Green Mile.
Good move. Good bit of advice there.
Mm-hmm. He also got him the part in Armageddon.
Oh, I would have thought so.
Because he met him during the whole 9 yards.
Was that before Armageddon?
I believe it was. I could be wrong. Will I look at it or not?
No, don't bother. Nobody's not interested. I'm leaving that interested. It was just a thought.
I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. Because Armageddon was 98. Aye. So I think that other way around then. Oh, sucks being wrong, but hey, rather. Billy D. Williams could have done it. The cool side of the pillow. Billy D. Williams, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Billy D. Williams would be good. Big Landau, my man. Calrissian, the traitor. The traitor.
Oh, man.
So,
do you know, I thought I was looking at Clubber Lang there. It was just that guy's fucking Spartan helmet.
Donna says, so what films are you talking about tonight? Just the one with Carl Weathers. Which typically Rocky, Predator, Action Jackson, Toy Story. These are films that the man himself graced us with his presence and made them memorable. Happy Gilmore, not to forget. I mean, that's one of those. I mean, that's rated what? Higher than Rocky IV, Happy Gilmore.
Goddamn alligator bit my hand off. He's like, it's okay though. I got my revenge. I pulled one of that sucker's eyes out. Look at that. He's like, you're kind of sick, Chubbs.
Do you know, Happy Gilmore's actually rated higher than Rocky IV, which is a bad
What are you doing, Happy? Riding a bull? You're acting like a damn fool. He's gluing his hand back together after he gets run over by the car.
Happy Gilmore. Do you know, I can't watch Happy Gilmore. Do you know why? Every day, every rainy day at school, guess what got wheeled into your classroom?
That big telly on that big AV unit.
And what was in the video machine? What was in it? Happy Gilmore. I just couldn't watch it for a long time. So I've seen this a billion times.
I was the only guy to ever take off his skate and try to stab somebody.
Matthew, would you like Action Jackson? Eh? I'm not sure.
They could do it now. They could do it. Disney will remake it with a white guy.
No, Disney don't do that.
It'd be like Michael Cera as Action Jackson.
Nah, Disney wouldn't dare. I'd love to see them remake Tarzan.
Risky. Let's not go there.
Isn't Jaws from James Bond and Happy Gilmore? Yes, he is. Fun fact for you. Carolyn Monroe, who was on this show, Jay Mack kissed her and told her exactly what he used to do.
Not exactly. That could have been quite creepy.
She worked with him. So we've kind of... It's quite cool to know that we've spoken to someone and met someone that worked closely with that guy.
What's his name again? Big guy.
Action Jackson.
Is it Keel? Somebody Keel, I think. Richard Keel? Is that right?
Yes, it is. It is.
Well remember.
He gets shot in the head with a nail gun, doesn't he? He's like, oh!
He's just sticking at the top of his hard hat. He's raising.
Richard Keel, you're right. He's just like, ah!
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot. She was like,
I've seen a meme that says, it's a picture of Shooter McGavin and Tiger Woods, and it says, here's one of the best golfers to ever grace this world, and the other is Tiger Woods. So good. So good. He was a class actor, that Richard Keel. He's a great Khali of Hollywood, or at least great Khali's the him of wrestling.
Or the new him of Hollywood. Also, he doesn't really. I've not seen him in much for a while. I think the last time I seen him in something was probably like Get Smart.
It's probably because he died in 2014. That's probably, and to be funny, that's probably when Get Smart came in.
I'm out of touch.
Mate, was he in Get Smart?
Yeah.
What year was that? Must have been about 2008 or something.
8, aye, that's ringing a bell.
Just he's no credited for it at all. You sure?
Wait, am I thinking of this? I hope I'm thinking of the same guy. Big massive jaw.
You're not thinking of the same guy.
I reckon I am.
That's like saying he was in the Secret Agent Club. Oh, you never got that, did you?
What's his actual name?
Richard Keel.
No, the Great Khali.
Aye, Great Khali. He's probably in Get Smart, but no Richard Keel.
Great Khali, real name. Aye, that's what I was saying. I was saying the Great Khali was in fucking Get Smart.
Oh, right. Oh, I thought you meant Richard Keel. Nah, Dalip Singh is Great Khali.
Dalip Singh.
But he is basically...
So Dalip Singh, Dalip, by the way, just so you know.
Big Dalip, and that's it, right? Don't think he's any of Dalip. Mick says RDJ could play Apollo Creed, Robert Downey Jr. Yes, he could. Marv Dogger just picked up a Blu-ray of Action Jackson before the price rockets, as it's already out of print. Fuck me. Matthew, when you hearing this?
Thanks for knowing what OOP meant, by the way, because I didn't know. I was like, out of production, I didn't know. So.
Aye. His cousin is karaoke singer, Gupty.
Gupty Singh. That's an old one, but a good one, man. I love it.
Gupty Singh. Out of print. That's I don't know how musical you were as a kid, but back when you had to buy music, I remember asking many different artists when I'd meet them in real life and go, why can't I find this album anywhere? And they'd always be like, it's out of print. I'm like, gutting, right?
Gutting.
So, Matthew, man, you need to hit up Marv Dogger and find out where he got Action Jackson, because I believe it's out of print and it's going to be hard to find. J Mac, in conclusion, what did Carl Weathers mean to you in your childhood? Say a wee piece.
He was a big part of some stuff I wasn't allowed to watch. And the thing is, like we were talking earlier on about how you grew up. You started with Rocky 3. Mine was Rocky 4. Mm. So I only ever knew him as Rocky's best pal, and his best pal that got killed. So I'd never experienced the antagonist Apollo Creed until I was much, much older. So yeah, part of my childhood that I'm really struggling to speak tonight. It's not because I'm overly emotional like I normally get in these situations.
Because you're not arsed.
It's not that I'm not arsed. I'm struggling to put sentences together because I've got such a head cold. But yeah, he was Rocky's pal, and because of that, he was my pal. That's how I felt about it.
A pal of Rocky's a pal of mine, right? A pal of Rocky's pal of mine. And
I got to see his arm blown off in Predator and traumatized me for a good number of years. I remember actually Predator was on TV and we'd recorded it, and I actually asked before I sat down to watch it if all the gory parts were cut out to decide whether I was going to watch it or not. And lo and behold, all the gory parts weren't cut out, so I never watched it.
What a flannel. What a flannel.
Yeah, I was a bit of a flannel when I was young. I had to get 10 out of Jurassic Park.
You turn the blood off in games, don't you? Fuck's sake.
That is a brilliant insult, man. Well done. You turn the blood off in games. Oh, God. Oh.
It's even worse when you're playing the snooker.
And your protectors when I'm playing snooker, the clicky balls, it fucks with my anxiety.
Folk who go to AC/DC fucking concerts less.
Aye, who are these folk going to concerts wearing ear defenders?
Fucking
like,
flannels,
just
man.
stay in the house. Stay in the house.
No.
So aye, he was Rocky's pal, so he was my pal. And he will be missed. And he did take the time to answer my specific question. See, the thing is, you never actually asked him any questions. You came up and told him the answer to the question that he was asked. So
Count.
Yeah.
Still count.
But everybody was asking him about Rocky. Maybe a Predator. And I was just like, I stood up and I said, thanks for taking my question. Apollo Creed's not the only sporting legend that you've portrayed on film. What was it like to stand alongside Adam Sandler and play Chubbs Peterson? And everybody kind of went, hey, I forgot about that. I fucking forgot about that.
I forgot about that. Do you remember what he answered?
I remember him just saying, Chubbs was fun. He never said that last bit. That was just me. And I just remember him saying Chubbs was fun.
So, same. It's funny that I don't actually recall it, but we have it on footage, so we'll probably.
Yeah, it's in our channel. So you just need to go like this.
I know.
You'll find
because we're so active that it's so hard to find some of the shit we've done. Sometimes I'll get like a wee notification saying that somebody wants to steal revenue from one of our videos or something, or somebody will comment and I'll go, I forgot about that. I go back and I'm like, holy shit, do we look young?
Aye.
So I go back.
What's funny?
And I'm like,
what's funny is I grew my hair back and you lost yours.
Very much. It's funny. It's funny. When you go back, I definitely got the leather jacket and the fucking bald slapper nap. There was even a picture where you look fucking dead slim in it, by the way, as well. It came up on my memories the other day, and it was the one where we're standing pointing at the Rang building. He showed up for a fucking convention. We're at the Rang place.
I remember that. We showed up to the Corn Exchange and it was somewhere else. Actually, we walked in, they were like, can I help you? And we're like, is there an event here? We're like, no.
We're here from the Jibber Jabber podcast. And I'm like, and? We're here to cover this event as press.
Then we showed up
from our press passes.
Then we showed up to the right one. We were like, hi, we're for Jibber Jabber podcast. They're like, and?
I know. They're like, we've got these passes. They're like, never seen them before in my puff, but in you go.
That convention was shite, man.
It was all right. But
it wasn't the best. We did meet some interesting people, right enough.
Nicholas Brendan.
No, I'm not including him in that. He's a fucking lunatic.
He was mental.
Aye, absolute fucking lunatic. Not a fan. Not a fan. I did like Ian McElhinney, and I liked.
He was very sweet. Sam Coleman.
Yeah, I liked Sam Coleman as well.
We Hodor. He was also in the Leatherface film.
I've got a soft spot in my heart for fucking Buffy Drago.
Buffy Drago. Did we get all the footage of her being like, stand there, and she was doing a big fucking bit to you, and you're just like,
like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like the UK's #1 Buffy impersonator. She was
Ivan the Slayer.
She was like Bigfoot. Bigfoot got imacked.
There's some Nicole Bass stuff right there, man. Nicole Bass. Mick says, I remember Jay when he used to train like fuck. He was Brock Lesnar with a skinhead.
I was never big. I got quite strong when I was about 19, but I was never big.
When I was about 9.
Nah,
well, I suppose 19 for you was much longer ago than what it was. Much longer ago.
It was 20 years ago.
Fuck me, man. I was 19 less than that.
It's because you're younger than me, mate. That's how that works. You know?
Most definitely. But I definitely go back and check out all our fucking wonders over the years. It's class, and we're hoping this year we'll bring a lot of new stuff to our channel for you. We're working on it. I actually had a dream the other night that we were there doing it, and this time it's going to be magical. So it'll be pretty cool. But it's been a blast talking about Carl Weathers for 20% of this episode. But he's an absolute legend who will live on through the art that he has portrayed on the big screen. Didn't know him personally, got to meet him, which is something I'll always be thankful for. I'm thankful to this podcast here, because without this, it would never have happened.
What do you mean thankful to this podcast? You made it. I'd just like to thank myself for doing this.
I'd just like to thank me.
I owe you the thanks for making these things possible. You're like, well, I just want to thank this podcast, which I made. That's like we last in Forky, in Forky. Toy Story 4 makes Forky, and then it's just like, I want to thank Forky for being here. I mean,
no, but still, without this vessel that we pour all our love into, we wouldn't have the goal to be like, oh, we're a big shot, why not let us in? That's when I felt like Jim Carrey's character, and I'm like, I remember just being like, "Here, we've got fucking millions of followers. Any chance you'll let us in?" When it was pressed, they're like, "Aye, come in." I'm just like, the first time we showed up like Shaggy and Scooby, fucking. Feel like, here, well, let us interview this cunt. I go for it. They're like, we done it. We done it.
Said I. They said I.
And then Zoe P. Stenders is like,
Know what I think of her?
And anybody listening to that is going to assume that was a fake one with your mouth, but that came straight for your other mouth.
Oh yeah, I've actually had more. I've had more worthwhile stuff come out of that one than my actual mouth tonight.
Worthwhile. I love that. That's what you said. Worthwhile.
By the way, when you get t-shirts made up, you get t-shirts.
What's saying what?
I bet you turn the blood off in games.
Hey, you turn the blood off in games. You're laughing because you definitely do that.
No, I definitely never did. I always turned it on.
Do you still have that t-shirt I got you last time? It was the one with you on the toilet taking a shite.
Aye, it's in my drawer upstairs.
Class. I need to see you wearing it at some point.
It's more like an arse piss.
It's more like an arse piss. Such poetry.
I actually wore that to work one day without thinking about it, and I was like, I'm walking about with a picture of myself doing a shite at work. It's not the first t-shirt faux pas I've made at my work either. I remember it was the day after Putin invaded Ukraine. I show up wearing my Rocky IV t-shirt, which has got a pretty prominent fucking Russian flag on it. I was like, maybe not.
Fucking hell, man. No. Well, on that note, we're going to let everybody get to bed for their work in the morning. I hope this week for all of you is an absolute blast. Thank you for staying with us tonight. It's been an absolute fucking... We got through it together, lads, but here's to Carl Weathers and the absolute titan of on-screen presence he was. And Jay Mack, when we're about to end the show, you always have something beautiful to say.
That's it, new show. Subscribe.
I look like every fat dad that falls off a skateboard on Facebook.
I've never seen that. I've never seen any of that.
Aye. Just picture me falling off a skateboard.
I couldn't imagine you on a skateboard. Dinner time here. What the hell, Janice?
Neither can a skateboard. Like,
Love you all too, Janice. Aye. And we shall see you guys next week. We've got some more reviews coming up to review, some interviews coming up. So make sure you hit that subscribe and make sure you stick with us, and we'll do our best to bring you some riveting content. Thank you for tuning in tonight and remembering Carl Weathers, the absolute beast. Anything else you like to say, G-Mac?
Thank you, Carl, for 4 memorable roles and everything else that you did. There you go.
Aye, for sure. I'd drink it, but I've already done it. Here, ice water. To Carl Weathers, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.
Ding, ding.